At some point, did these cameras go up anywhere else on the property?
Yes.
And where was that?
After we got the shell of the house completed, you have to have a 110 power source for the module. After we got the structure of the house, then I had a job trailer that's a 20-foot cargo trailer that was parked next to the temporary service pole in the front yard. And from that temporary service pole, I run a 110 wire into the side of it, and we got what they call a hotspot that gives me Wi-Fi service, and we put the second set of cameras at that point. And that was on the fronts of the house. I had 3 or 4 cameras on the front of the house, and one inside the living room and one inside the garage.
How many cameras in total did you have?
I think the second package was a 5 package setup, 4 or 5. The first one was maybe 3. I'm not 100% sure. But on the house, there was 2 on the back, 2 on the front, a couple inside, and then we had 2 on the dock.
Once you put up these cameras, were you able to monitor your home?
Yes, for the most part, yes.
And how would you be able to monitor the cameras when you were not physically on the property?
I could look at it, I could pull up on my phone, and I could actually look at it manually at any point in time, or either it would give me a notification on my phone if activity was going on the property, it would notify me.
If you got a notification and you looked at the phone, was there any sort of recording that would start, or how did the cameras capture any sort of footage going on at the house?
Well, when I would click on whichever one it was that would notify me, it would start, and there's a time setting on these clips. I can't remember the exact time. I want to think up to 60 seconds, I think. And depending on how many seconds you had it set for is how long the clip would show. But it would start it from the beginning when it was triggered until the time ran out that you had set.
And then you were able to save those, maybe download those videos somewhere?
I never saved them or downloaded them. I'm kind of low tech, and I didn't realize, but at some point, once you get so many accumulated, it starts dropping off the oldest ones and recording the newest ones.
At some point, were you able to capture any surveillance or any clips from people walking in and off?
Yes.
And how were you able to do that?
The first instance that we had, I was in Douglas about 9 o'clock or so, and it went off, 9 or 10 o'clock it went off, and it showed me in the middle of the night. That was the first time that we'd ever recorded anything on it.
Okay. And did those clips get recorded to like a cloud or an internet server somewhere?
No, they just stayed saved in my phone.
Okay, so they got saved on your phone?
Yeah. But like I say, they was only saved until numerous ones were collected, and then it would start dropping them off, and I was unaware of that to begin with. I just thought it kept going continuous, but it drops off the older ones after a certain point.
Gotcha. Now, when you had people working on your house during the day, would these cameras get triggered, or were you able to shut them off if people were working? Tell me about that.
I could turn them off manually from a remote location. A lot of times I would remember to do that. A lot of times I wouldn't. Sometimes I would turn them off, and it may be 2 days before I remember to turn them back on.
And did you notice on these cameras during the daytime any sort of traffic coming and going, maybe in front of your house or around your house, anything like that?
Sometimes it would pick them up at the street, but I tried to position them where the street traffic wouldn't trigger them.
And at some point during the daytime, did you capture anybody coming in and out of your property?
Yes.
And tell me about that.
I can't remember all the situations. I mean, most of the time when I'd see the subcontractor show up, I'd know what time it was and they had showed up, and I'd turn them off. We got not very much daytime footage that I was concerned about.
Sure. Give me some other examples besides the subcontractors of people that would come in and off of your property?
Well, one thing that pops up on my mind was,
Mr. English, what are some other examples of people coming and going on your property during the daytime?
what I was fixing to state before he interrupted was about the kids. That's one of the main things that pops in my mind. The kids did come over there, they get a couple of pieces of plywood. I could see out of the corner of the camera that they was in the street, had a bicycle ramp built out of it, and that's what they were doing with it. It didn't really alarm me. I was glad to see kids out and doing something with plywood instead of on computer games. So the plywood was a scrap piece of plywood, 50 cents a piece. So I didn't ever bring it to anybody's attention. Wasn't alarmed about it. As far as other people, I can't tell you, I can't even remember people in the daytime other than Mr. Billy Grinder. Mr. Billy would go over there and walk his dog every day, and he would walk around my property and kind of look at it and check on it. That's the only two instances during the daytime that really I can remember.
Okay, that were significant to you in some way, is that correct?
Well, that's the only thing that really pops into my mind. There might have been more instances, but it wasn't significant enough to even process it and record it in my mind.
Yes, sir. Here's my approach. Good.